Hey y'all, Tracey, Trials of a Long-Haired Girl. Um, it is Tuesday, and I am slacking a little bit in recording this video. Um, okay. Questions today are relatively easy, but it is random personal either or questions. Oh, and I am tagging Kim over at A Girl and Her Phone. Question number 1, shower or bath? If it's an everyday thing, I take a shower. If I have time, I love to take a bath and just soak and kind of, it's a treat. Let's put it that way. Do you prefer clean shaven or facial hair? Funny story. It's really weird. My husband is clean shaven for the most part. I rub against it if he gets a little scruffy. But my dad has always, for like the majority of my life, my dad has had facial hair, and he didn't scare me. But when I go to the dentist, I get funny looks. I'm certain that the women who answer the phone are like, why is this lady asking this question? When I'm looking for a new dentist, if it's not somebody that I know personally, I will always ask, does Dr. blah 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 have a beard? I know, it's very strange. But here's the reason that I ask. When I was 4 or 5 years old, I'm guessing, I was young. My teeth are still not great, but they were really, really bad, and I had a bunch of cavities. He was not good with children. Let's put it that way. He was not. I was fighting him. And part of it, if you don't experience it, be thankful. I have TMJ, and my jaws pop in and out, like really bad. It happens less now that I have quit chewing gum. I didn't realize that there was a correlation between the two. But he, for whatever reason, he scared me. He was going to have me sedated in order to do the work on my mouth. And his partner at the time stepped in and said, step out of the room. And he was able to do everything that he needed to do very easily with some gas. So, yeah, that's my funny story about clean shaven or facial hair. Dog, cat, or other. Some of these are very obvious. Some of them you know this about us already because we've talked about it. I have 2 dogs. Here's the funny thing. I loved both cats and dogs growing up. When I gave birth to my son, I became allergic to cats. Same thing happened with my mother. There are pictures of my mother holding, when she was pregnant with me, and there was a big Siamese cat sitting on top of her stomach. I am now allergic to both dogs and cats. So yeah, that's part of why I take allergy shots. So yeah. Tattoos or piercings? I have no tattoos and will probably never have a tattoo. It's just not something that I want for me. My son has tattoos. My mother always talked about getting a tattoo, but she had the permanent eyeliner. But it was never something that I wanted to do. I don't know why. And the few times that I've thought about it, it's never something that I was like, yeah, I need to go on and do that. So it's just not something I desire to do. And I did get my ears pierced when I was 5. But they have since grown up. I never wear earrings. I have no desire. It's not something I even want to do now. Regular bed or waterbed? This is kind of an old question. But again, funny story. I had a waterbed when I was pregnant with my son. I was a stomach sleeper from the word go. For many years. I didn't realize the damage it was doing to my neck. But yeah, when I was pregnant with him, I slept on my stomach for the majority of my pregnancy in a waterbed. I had a waterbed even after he was born until it sprung a leak. When the bladder died, I had to get a new bed. At that point, I think waterbeds were kind of on their way out. So now I think I have a Tempur-Pedic, I think is what it is. I don't know. Savings or shopping? We try to balance those. We try to always put money in savings, but we don't necessarily not shop. Try to be frugal in many areas, which if you've been watching me for a while, you kind of know that. We don't just blow and go. We have things that we plan for. My husband and I generally will always talk to each other before we do. Night owl or early riser? I have always been an early riser. Although I gotta say, right now with Bo getting up before 5 o'clock some mornings, my lazy's feeling lazy, and I need to get out of that habit again. 3 meals a day or 5 small meals? I have heard many benefits of the 5 small meals. I generally stick to 3 meals a day. I think it's a personal preference because of the way that I kind of grew up. So there you go. Silver or gold? I think silver is very pretty, but I have always been drawn to gold. Like my rings, my wedding ring is gold. Necklaces and stuff that I had when I was younger. When sterling silver was popular for a hot minute in the 80s, I had some of that. But for the most part, what I have always worn was gold. I'm less likely to have a reaction to it. Like all of the rings, I have a ton of rings that I had growing up. They're all gold. That's my preference. Pen or pencil? It depends on what I'm doing. If I am not worried about whether or not it's permanent, most of the time I will grab a pen. If I am, for instance, if I am practicing drawing something that I want to ultimately paint, or if I am practicing writing, which I also did the other day, I will generally grab a pencil because I want to be able to erase things that aren't as pretty as I would like, rather than just mark them out. So yeah, there's that. Again, tagging Kim over at a girl on her phone. I'm not one of those people who likes to randomly tag. I just don't. Kim's the only person I had an opportunity to ask, so I asked her, she agreed, so here you go. So that leaves a whole ton of our group open to do this tag. If you would like to do it and somebody doesn't tag you, go ahead and do it. Let me know, and I'll mention your video in another video. And just for fun, if you are friends with me on Facebook, you probably saw it. I actually created a sunflower out of a Dollar Tree cake pan and clothespins. I recorded part of it, not all of it. And I thought I would share that on Thursday. I thought maybe we would try to do a Thrifty Thursday Dollar Tree crafting edition. Although my paints were not from Dollar Tree, they were from Walmart, but kind of just something fun. Anyway, I look forward to seeing everybody's answers. Have a great day.